Welcome back to Taking Life by the Reins. This is Brandi. I am a content creator, an entrepreneur by trade. Like literally, I wake up and I think, let's start an LLC. Let's start a new business. I am a mama. I am a lover of Jesus. I am a wife to the most incredible man. And I'm really just figuring it out. And so I created this podcast because I know there are so many women out there that feel lonely in life, whether it's in their business, in their families, in their walk of faith. And I want a place where women can come together with me and we can work through life's trials and chaos and ups and downs because, man, it's a lot. And I know there are some women here listening, you're exhausted, you're tired, you feel weak. And I hope that this podcast episode can help you. I took a few weeks off. We went traveling a little bit around Florida. We went to Orlando. We hit up Disney World, which is like, fills my cup. If you're a Disney adult, you've got my heart. You know, I used to work at Disney. I was friends with Pocahontas, and I have a special place in my heart for Disney. And then we headed up to 30A. The beaches in the Gulf Coast are unreal, like truly unbelievable. It feels like I'm in like some tropical place and I'm literally 5 hours from my house. If you've never checked out the beaches in 30A, you need to. We did get some unfortunate news. Casey's papa went to be with Jesus in heaven. And although we're grateful that he is no longer in pain, it's bittersweet. It's super sad to see his mama, how strong she's been for him and how much she's really just dedicated her entire life to her husband, to her 3 boys, Casey's dad and his 2 uncles. It's so inspiring. And it really kind of goes hand in hand with one of the topics I wanted to talk about today. And it's being the strong one. And I don't know if that's you. And if it's not you, I want you to think about who it is in your life. But have you ever noticed that the stronger people think you are, the less they check in on you? Like, I think about his grandmother. Like, she's so strong. She's just like head of the household, like always knows what's for dinner, always knows where everything is, just keeps things together. And maybe that's you in your house. I actually read the other day, or no, I think it was a video I saw the other day where it said, when you're a good swimmer, people can't tell when you're drowning. And that is like the most truth I've heard in a long time. That hits home hard for me. You're the one that everyone calls and relies on. You are the one that everyone expects to figure it out. You're the one everyone looks to when things are going crazy in your workplace, in your family, in your home, in your business, at church, at the kids' school. It's like you're the strong one. And as much as that is a badge of honor to wear, to be able to be the strong one, to be able to be there for everyone, carrying the family, the business, the marriage, the schedules, the emotions, the responsibilities that you have, it's a badge of honor. But when is the last time somebody stopped and asked, how are you doing? Like, vibe check, are you good? Because like I said, when you're a good swimmer, people don't always know you're drowning. And whether that means drowning physically, like you've got way too much on your plate, you can't handle it. Whether that means emotionally, you're overwhelmed and checked out. I am so thankful to be married to such an intentional man. And he has taught me to be this way for him and other people, where he can tell when I'm emotionally checked out. And he's like, whoa, come back to me. Are you good? How are you doing? And so if that's not you, if you're not that person in your life, in your family, in your business, in your workplace, at your church, at your kid's school, in your marriage, that's okay. But what I want you to take from this podcast episode is check on your strong friends. Check in on them. Ask them, how are they doing? Because they're probably not doing great. They're probably just surviving. Today, I want to talk about something that a lot of women carry silently, and that is the loneliness of being the strong one. I think the hardest part about being the strong one in your circle or in your circles, right? Because being the strong one applies not just to like business and work, although that is the case for somebody who was a leader for almost 10 years, I was very much the strong one. I was the one that everybody looked to when the company would make a change. I was the one that everybody would snap their head to when something was going wrong, to look for the answer, to look for the motivation, to look for the support. And I was glad to do it. But you don't realize what toll it takes on you to never take a moment to stop and not be the strong one, to be like, actually, I'm not good. Actually, I need a minute. Actually, I need an ear. I need a shoulder to cry on. I need someone to lean on. I need somebody else to take the reins for a moment. No pun intended. It's hard because people don't look beneath the surface. Delete that line. It's hard because people don't look beneath the surface when you are the strong one. They see you showing up. They see you being consistent. In fact, I have literally done a live video at least 5 times a week for the last almost 10 years. I show up, I do team trainings, I do stories every day, I do my posts every day. I'm checking in with customers, I'm checking in with team members. Like, I was constantly that person that was just always like, in fact, I get people all the time to this day that'll say, your stamina is insane. Like, you're like the Energizer Bunny. And that's amazing. They see me smile. They see me happy. They see me thriving. They see me succeeding. But it's really rare. And I'm grateful that God has sent me a handful of friends that do check on me. So I can't discredit that. But there are so many moments where I question myself. There are so many moments that I just like grovel to God. Like, I don't know if I can get through this. I don't know if I can make it. The last 6 months have just been such a whirlwind of change, growth, just true testing of my patience and my character and my capability and my strength. And I'm holding it together with a tiny string wrapped around it. And I've come to realize that not only do I need to sometimes stop and slow down and take time off and like reassess where I'm at, realign, and then restart, right? With like the strength I need to make sure that I'm turning and checking on my friends that I know they're the strong ones. They're keeping it together in the household. They are the keeper of the schedule. They know what is on the grocery list and what's being made for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They know when the travel plans are, when the sports are, when the bills are due. Like, they're keeping it together. And I'm probably talking about a lot of you watching right now. If nobody's asking you, how are you doing? I want to ask you, how are you doing? What are you doing for you? Are you taking a moment to do something to fill your cup? Have you slowed down lately and taken a moment to celebrate your milestones? I will tell you that is one thing that I am horrible at. I am somebody who struggles with scarcity mindset, and that is why I'm a high achiever. Aside from the fact that I have like crippling ADHD, and people who have ADHD, it's like our superpower because we can do a million things at one time and somehow make sense of it and usually succeed. But it's like our superpower and like our weakness all in the same. And something that I've struggled with, scarcity mindset, because of my childhood, because of where I've come from, because we didn't have money, we didn't have success around us. Like, I didn't grow up seeing that in a long-term way. Not a lot of us did. Not a lot of us experienced entrepreneurship the way it is now. Not a lot of us experienced high achievement the way we can now, especially with social media. So at any moment in time, I've had to work through this a lot with therapy. And, you know, my therapist teaching me, like, you built something so meaningful, it's not going to fall apart in a moment. And that's what I believe. I think that any moment in time, it could just fall apart. And so I am constantly go to the next thing, Oh, we had 100K, great. 200K, great. 500K, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, 15 million in sales. Great. What's next? And I sometimes, you know, will receive an award or something, and, you know, I'll celebrate that kind of with like a post, but like, I don't often slow down and take time to like take it in, to thank God, like, look at this and like revel in the moment. Recently, I posted a couple of teasers. I'm starting my own hair company, with the graciousness and the most incredible support, both physically, emotionally, and financially, from The good friends of mine, the Maxfields, they're the Who Owns Unique, a company I worked with for almost a decade. And now they are funding this new hair venture, which I'm so grateful for. And I posted a video and it's just like a 10-second clip and I'm like tousling my hair. And it's like, the moment was like truly magical. It was so amazing, like being in the studio. We've got smoke, we've got lights, we've got cameras. It's like, oh, like this amazing moment. And I posted a video and I announced the launch date for Lira, my hair company, which, by the way, a lot of you have been asking me, what's Lira? Lira is derived from a Hebrew name, Liora, spelt in a different way, Leorah, I believe it is, or Liorah. That name was taken, so I had to tweak the spelling, but it comes from the meaning of God's light or God's light within. Anyways, I post this video and I get a couple of negative comments, mostly amazing, sweet, kind comments, but then also some negative comments. And these negative comments are like, you're acting like this is a movie premiere. Like, this is not that big of a deal. Why are you being so dramatic? And I'm like, excuse me, be dramatic, be excited, pause and celebrate the moments, romanticize your life. Like, if you are the strong one, you're probably not doing that because you are worried about everyone else in your life. You're not stopping to celebrate. You're not stopping to recognize yourself. You're not stopping to rest. Man, rest is like such a gift from God. It's not earned. Rest is not earned. You don't have to work super hard to get rest. Rest is what you can then accomplish and achieve from. And when you're someone like me who's ADHD and high achieving and have scarcity mindsets, like this triple threat of just mental instability, really, you got to like train yourself to rest, to stop, to pause, to celebrate, to have gratitude in those moments and not be scared it's all going to fall apart. If you're the person that's being so strong, you're the one that everybody goes to, you're the one that everybody looks at. If something is going wrong in the family, you are who they call. If something is going wrong at work, you are who they look to. They're looking at you to see how are you reacting. And that, I will tell you, that is that's a burden I carried for a super long time. And I don't say that in a bitter way because I adored and loved my time in network marketing for almost 10 years. And technically I still have a team and I love them. Like with all my heart, like I have formed bonds with some of these women and they're like family. And some of them have stepped into this new chapter with the company that we've created and like where we're going as a company with open arms and are running forward with me. But a lot aren't or have kind of stepped out, and that's okay. But like I carried the burden for so long that I had to be the person that had the right reaction because everybody was always looking to me. And we train that in network marketing, right? We train that you teach people how to react. Like if it's not a big deal to me that this is out of stock or this happened with the company or they're changing this structure, then it's not going to be a big deal to everybody else. And the reason we train that is because we don't want mass chaos in the chats and in the groups and all the things. But what I've come to realize is that's okay to be calm, cool, collected, and have composure in front of people. But what's not okay is to never like internally figure out how do I actually feel about this, pause and like have my own reaction privately or pause and take rest or pause and regroup. I just was bulldozing ahead for the last 10 years. And again, I wouldn't change any of it for the world because I think that was all necessary for me to have the success that, you know, I needed at that time to be able to kind of step into the season I'm in now. And I feel so aligned with what God wants for me in my life. And I also feel so aligned with what God wants me to help you with. I know that I have been this figure on social media that's like literally Energizer Bunny. Just go, 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 go. But I hope that this podcast teaches you where I came from, what I've been through, what I've done in spite of it all. And that it's possible for you to do it too. But also rest. Also check in on yourself. Also check in on your strong friends because nobody is. As a woman, you are a mom, you're a wife, you're a friend, you're a daughter, you're a leader, you're a cousin, you're a volunteer, you're wearing so many hats that come with so many expectations. And it's so important that you allow yourself to push yourself, right? Like I have to stretch myself a little bit thin sometimes. I've got to challenge myself so I get stronger, so I get better, so I can be who God is calling me to be. But just pausing and taking moments of reflection for yourself, I can't explain to you how important it is. I'm so grateful that I am 33 and I'm learning this now and not when I'm 50, 67 years old. Like, oh man, I wish I would have rested more. No, I'm glad that I'm realizing now it's okay to have a day off. It's okay to not be the strong one sometimes. Nobody's telling you that. Nobody told me that for so many years. When I just showed up and I was just strong, even in my family, right? Like even to my husband, like the roles are really weird in my household. And maybe you can relate to this, maybe you can't, but in some way, I hope this helps you. My husband was the sole provider for 6 years when he was in the military. And when I started this business in 2017, it was really just like for fun to cover my my car payment and groceries and whatever. In 2020, when the pandemic happened and everybody looked to social media to be social because they were social distancing, my business blew up because everybody was online consuming and everybody wasn't out in the world spending, so they were spending online. And my business truly blew up. And it allowed me to retire my husband early. He came home. He was been a stay-at-home dad with many business ventures. Let's be honest, my husband can't sit still for more than 10 minutes. Many business ventures, but also many responsibilities behind closed doors. He handles all of our taxes, all of our bookkeeping with everyone. He handles any of like the financial details, any of the legal things that we have to deal with and meeting with attorneys and all that. He handles everything in the house. He often will cook for us. He cleans, he does the laundry, and we have obviously hired help over the years as we've been able to, but the reality is like he holds a different role in the household than most men. And I have now become this financial provider. Now, I never get it twisted. I'm not like, I'm the breadwinner of the household because everything I do is dependent on my husband being able to handle everything else around me. I get to have the fun job while he literally is the one balancing all the plates for us. So I never take credit for like, I'm the breadwinner. But I've realized over the years that I have this pressure that I've put on myself to not let our finances drop or not make enough, right? And I always have this strong face, even when change came in my companies or when things changed on social media and I was terrified, I was scared to death, I still wanted to be strong for him. And so I'd be like, oh yeah, like this is happening, blah, blah, blah. And I would kind of just graze over it and act like nothing's wrong. But really internally, I'm freaking out. And what the mental toll that does and takes on you is so wild. And I realized through therapy, thank God for Kate, I realized that he's my safe person. Like he's the person I should allow to check on me. And you see, as a strong person, as the person who is the go-to or the person who's, you know, providing or is the strong one in the whatever, the relationship, the business, the group, whatever you look at it like, you don't think it's okay to let that person in and check on you. But there probably is people around you worried about you, checking in on you, and you're keeping that poker face on. It's okay to let it down sometimes. It's okay to be human. It's okay to be nervous, to be scared. If you didn't listen to my last few episodes, I talked a lot about the seasons of growth that I've had to go through. And I say I had to go through, I got to go through, but like I was literally forced, shoved with two arms through these doors, like time to stop being comfortable and go after this. It took a mental toll on me. And I was just like strong face, bold face, brave face. And I realized I haven't taken time to grieve. I haven't taken time to process. I haven't taken time to rest. And so that's what I've been doing. And God will reward you in ways that you will never realize when you take time to do that, when you take time to rest, when you take time to process and grieve or whatever it is you need to do. Please do it for yourself. One thing that God has been teaching me lately, and I'm so grateful for this, just through scripture, through the word, even some of the sermons at my church, is that even Jesus had boundaries. Even Jesus, the Son of God, rested. He didn't say yes to every request. He didn't help and heal every single person. He rested, he prayed. And I think we forget that as Christians. I think we forget that as moms. I think we forget that as wives. I think we forget that as business owners. I think we forget that as the strong one. Sometimes Jesus had to withdraw and rest and reconvene. And I think we put so much pressure on ourselves, and there's really no reason to do that. It's something we make up in our head, because a lot of times what us as the strong ones don't realize is the pressure is kind of made up. I remember when Casey and I first decided that I could start my business, and I wrote out on this whiteboard how much money it was going to cost me to start, like all the product I wanted to invest in, the ring light, the tripod. I added it all up, and I basically presented it to him like, okay, here's what I want to do. Here's how much it's going to cost. And then this is how long it's going to take me to make that money back. So I didn't want to put a burden on him to have to invest all this money into this business. And we're talking like $400. Okay. This is like 2017. And sometimes I miss those days because, man, I was actually just talking to my friend Tamara about this the other day. Like, life was so simple in 2017 for us. We lived in this tiny little apartment, but we didn't want for anything. Like, we could go out to eat. We were conscious. We would order water, not tea. We could get whatever groceries we needed, not wanted, but needed. And I just kind of sometimes miss how simple those days are. Like, more money, more problems, and also more pressure. And so anyways, I remember coming to him at some point, and I was like, I said to him something along the lines of like, see, I did hit that goal and I like made the money back. And he was like, I think you think like you make up in your mind and you think that I don't think you can do things, or I'm doubting you. He's like, just so you know, I've never doubted you. And not many men can say that like out loud. Like, my husband is like, he's a rare gem. I know that God spent extra time on him and his emotional intelligence. I know it's rare, and I know I'm blessed, and I will never take it for granted. But like, he basically was saying to me, you're creating a storyline in your head that I think you're going to fail in this new business venture. And he said, but all I care about is that you're having fun. He said, you could do this and make no money and I would not care. But you create this storyline in your head and it motivates you. It's almost like I work better under pressure. And maybe that's you too. But the problem is sometimes we take it too far. And I take that pressure and I put it on myself I'm just bearing a weight of an ox on my chest sometimes. And I'm thinking that I got to be strong for my husband. And he's like, what? No, you don't. You just need to be open. You just need to talk to me. You just need to rest more. You just need to confide in me more. And I'm so worried that I'm going to worry him that I just hold it in. And I don't know if you do that, but that actually causes a lot of issues in marriages, whether it be resentment because you're holding everything in, you're not communicating the things you're stressed about or scared about or sad about or worried about, and you're creating this resentment inside of you. It's stirring, it's stewing, it's spewing, and then they do something and all of a sudden it's either a blow up fight or you're frustrated or you're overwhelmed and you're crying. We're creating that ourselves. We're creating that ourselves. And the reality is, like, even with my team, right? I built a team of over 6,000 women in network marketing. And I always had this like weird pressure of like expectations that I put on myself that I know. And to some extent, it was definitely an expectation. Like they trust me as their leader. They expect XYZ. Fair, super fair. Like that was my job. That's what I got paid for. But then there was an above and beyond list of expectations that I would put on myself that wasn't from them. Nobody physically ever said it to me, but I felt like they expect this of me. They expect this of me. And then that causes resentment inside of you where you are thinking, they expect me to do X, Y, Z, and I'm exhausted and I can't, and I'm tired and I never have time to rest. I never have time for me. But the reality is they would be happy with A, B, C, but you're trying to give them A through Z and go above and beyond because you've created this pressure in your mind and you've got to let it go. You've got to come back to Jesus, close your eyes and ask him, align me. Jesus, please help me. Tell me exactly what I should and should not be doing. Close the doors you need closed. Open the doors you need open. Help me understand what is your will for my life and what are the actions that I am supposed to be taking to take me towards your goals, your plans, your dreams to glorify your name. Man, if you pray that, a consistent prayer. In fact, I recently added to my phone, just pray every day at 8 a.m. I know that sounds silly, but how many of you guys tell somebody like, they're like, oh, I'm going for this job, pray for me. Oh, I'm going through this, I'm trying to sell my house, pray for me. Oh, I'm going through this at work, pray for me. Oh, my marriage is struggling, pray for me. And we're like, I'll pray for you. How many of you do that and then don't pray? You don't because you're busy. You don't think about it. So I have a reminder on my phone every day, it just says pray. And it allows me to start my day off with gratitude. I actually just I saw this thing and I think the acronym was GLOW and it was like gratitude. So start your prayer off in gratitude. Just thank God for anything and everything that you are grateful for. And then L is let it all out. Just talk to him. Like literally talk to God. Just tell him everything on your mind. He already knows, but to speak it is so freeing. When you hear give it to God, this is exactly what we mean. And then O, what was the O? Man, I'm going to give you an acronym and not know all the words. Gratitude, let it all out, own your desires. And so this is like claiming and stating everything that you're believing God to do and thanking him for it. Like, don't be shy, okay? You're God's girl. He's got your back. He's going to give you the strength. He's going to give you the way. He's going to give you the ideas. He's going to give you the connections, the people. And then the W is wait. Just sit in silence for a minute. GLOW, okay? Gratitude, let it all out, own your desires, wait. If you can start your day, and listen, this takes me like 20, 30 minutes, sometimes longer, and then I'll read a little bit of scripture as well. It positions my day in such an incredible way. What I hope that this episode can help you realize is you don't have to answer every text. You don't have to carry every burden. You don't have to solve every problem. You don't have to be the one to figure it out every single time. You can ask for help. You can say, I need help. I need rest. I need prayer. I need support, even if you're the strong one. And guess what? You can still be the strong one after you take a moment for yourself. Nobody is looking at you like you're weak now. And that had to be said out loud. Nobody thinks you're weak if you need rest. Nobody thinks you're weak if you need a moment, because guess what? You're human. You're human. Even Jesus needed rest. The Son of God needed rest, needed moments where he could recluse and really think through what God was calling him to. We need to do that. It's not a reward rest. It's a requirement. Like we're called to take a Sabbath. We're called to unplug. That is something that I am so convicted of. And it's like the one thing I know God calls me to that I really struggle with. I've gotten so much better at it, but there still is something in me that struggles taking a Sabbath because I feel lazy. I feel unproductive. I feel weak. I feel like I'm failing, but really I am being obedient to my Heavenly Father when I do that. And that's what we should be doing. Taking a moment. You don't got to be the strong one all the time. So if you are the woman listening today, struggling, being the strong one, being overwhelmed, life is chaotic. This is your permission slip to pause, reflect, take time. And this is also your reminder to check on your friends, to the one that you always look to for the answers, to the one you know is carrying it all, to the one you know is keeping her household together. Please go check on her. Ask how she's doing. Be that friend. It's 2026 and there's this whole concept of like boundaries. And that's great and all. You should have boundaries, but you should also sometimes be okay with doing inconvenient and uncomfortable things to go and be there for your family members or your friends. That is rare quality that people have because they're like, oh, I don't want to go do that. I don't want to go do this because it's inconvenient for me, or I'm setting a boundary. And there is a difference. You should be setting boundaries to protect your inner peace, to protect your sanity, to rest. Like, yeah. Let's have boundaries. But also like, don't be so important that you're not willing to do what God has called you to do. And that's be there for your neighbor, love thy neighbor, be there for your friends, be there for your family members that need you. Yes, we are the strong ones, but also we aren't the only strong ones. So checking in on your friends and your family and the other people, checking in on your husband. In fact, when is the last time you've done that? When is the last time that you checked in on your husband? When is the last time you asked him, how are you doing? Are you okay? Is there anything overwhelming you? Is there anything stressing you out? Is there anything I can do to help you? Do you ask him that? And maybe your answer is no, because he doesn't ask you. But I promise you, if you start asking him that, just opening that world of communication with your husband. And like I said, I am really, truly grateful that I have a very intentional husband who is like that with me. But I know that that's really rare in men. I know that most men probably aren't coming to you saying, what do you feel overwhelmed with? How can I make your day easier? How can I support you? What's something that, is there anything that's bothering you? In like a genuine way, not like a nagging way, right? Because like maybe you've asked, but it's more like, what's bothering you? What's bugging you? Like that's not going to work. But like, it's so important that we are nurturing and filling the cup of our spouse. That's our number one in this world, aside from God, then our kids, right? Then our inner circle. And so look at the people that are in your family and in your inner circle. Are they good? Okay. And if you're not good, remember, I gave you a permission slip. Okay. You get to rest. You get to recluse if you need it. Take a little mini vacay. And that doesn't have to mean you go on vacation, but just like pause. Stop putting all this pressure on yourself. Stop trying to be perfect. Nobody is. Nobody's expecting you to be. That's an expectation that an overachiever, the strong woman, the go, go, go girl, the ADHD girl, the, hey, I'm scared it's all going to fall apart if I even pause or take a break for a minute, girl. I'm talking to you. Have a moment to yourself. I want to leave you with Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. He's not saying, come to me and perform the best performance. Serve with all your might. Prove to me that you deserve rest. Prove to me that you deserve salvation. No, he's saying, come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. It's literally written in scripture. It's an invitation to come and lay your burdens down at the feet of Jesus. And maybe this is your sign. Instead of picking up one more thing and carrying it, you lay one thing down and rest. Maybe that's a burden. Maybe that's a fear. Maybe that's an expectation. I don't know what it is that you're carrying, holding, and it's going to be the straw on the camel's back if you pick up one more thing and set it down. Allow that to be the one thing you draw a line and say, no, this is a boundary. And I'm going to rest because I don't always have to be the strong one. If this episode resonated with you or someone you know, please share it with them. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time with me. Comment below if this did resonate with you. I would love to hear from you. And until then, keep taking life by the reins.